Love you too, Gretchen.
And we're live! And apparently declaring our love for each other.
Love you, Holy Moderate C.
You could call me Holy, because I'm only on this so I can make room for people. Otherwise, I'd have an icon with my actual name.
I hate everyone.
Yeah, so why are you such a hateful Deuce Volt Catholic?
Why not? Right? I mean, because like unlike my evangelical counterparts, right? I hate everyone equally, not just atheists.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do think that evangelicals hate Christians. It's just that they deem the Christians that they hate as non-Christians.
Right,
Indeed.
and then they'll bend over backwards to suck each other off if they are the right brand of evangelical Christian. See, me, I don't even care if you're Catholic. I freaking hate you.
Well, I like, the call to arms. So, like, the call to arms is like, homosexual beacon! And there's like a take back the rainbow! And then all the funnies are like, oh my gosh, there might be homosexuals! And they're like, band together against the sin! And they're like grabbing rocks and chucking it and like, Levitical law, bitches! Meanwhile, one of them's like on her third husband. Another one has a wife stashed away somewhere. Levitical law, you won't survive.
And what did Christ Jesus
about?
write into the sand? And Levi's sin was, and so's sin was, and they all backed up.
Mind you, if they're all running around singing musicals, you've got to question it.
I just make it the Stoning of Spackle the musical. We're gonna call it
by the South Park guys.
This is called Theonomist the musical.
Theonomist.
So
that sounds like a Monty Python production.
Renee's gonna die. Renee, there's room for you if you want to come in. Don't die, Renee. Stop dying.
Renee,
it's stupid.
Renee, I'll step out. I'll step out.
You don't need to step out. There's enough room.
Okay, thank you.
Dying.
Yeah, I'm only here for another 15 minutes until my son's time playing PlayStation's done and I can go play instead.
Oh, are you going to play Monster Hunter with Drag or something?
No, that was so last week. This week it's Conan Exiles.
Well, before you go then, I want to ask what the hell happened to the Caps, dude?
Nothing. They're still the best team in the league. Shut up. Don't even jinx it. It's fine. It's great. Nothing happened. This little bump in the road. That's all. They're still 2-2.
Did you see the game?
The what now?
They're still 2-2.
Yeah.
Who
Although
won?
the Golden Knights are also 2-2, so you know.
So I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm assuming it's football. Oh my gosh, Quake.
Whoa.
This is how the rapture's gonna happen. Like a blink of an eye.
Google's gonna cause it.
Oh, you think Jesus was referring to, or John, I should say, was referring to the end of the internet?
There's gonna be 8 people in a hangout, and suddenly there'll be 5.
Dum, dum, dum.
Wouldn't it be amazing if there was a rapture that happened and the people that are busy yelling at everybody else that they're not really Christians are the ones that are left?
Wouldn't it be super
well.
ironic if we all got taken up through the internet? So it was only the people that were on the internet that got taken up.
Oh my goodness. Does it make you think that you're being sucked into the internet?
Yeah. That's what the rapture is, the modern version of the rapture.
I'm okay with that.
We're all going to get uploaded to a hard drive somewhere.
Only if it's like Tron.
Woo. It's going to have super 80s soundtrack with it. I know that much.
Yes.
As long as we're not part of that terabyte of that other guy, I think I'm okay.
Oh, God.
I might even settle for the Matrix.
I'm there.
You know, I really like the movie Dark City a lot better than The Matrix.
Well, see, the thing is, right? Like, Dark City is far ahead of the Matrix in terms of asking the same philosophic questions. However, Matrix is leaps and bounds ahead of Dark City if you're an anime fan.
You know, maybe that's what it is. I'm not an anime fan, but I am a fan of like diesel punk and film noir and the detective and the 1940s and stuff. So it makes sense that I'm more of a fan of Dark City.
Yeah, and the Burton-esque set design.
The only thing of Dark City I don't like really is when Jennifer Connelly sings, it's so out of sync and it doesn't. It's bad lip syncing. And then Kiefer Sutherland, he's always forever out of breath, and he talks like this, and this is how a character talks, and he's trying to swap the memories, but the memories keep getting swapped, but the people that swap the memories don't like water.
His problem is he's Canadian.
No, his problem is he's been
Whoa,
too many
whoa.
series doing 24.
This is years before 24, man. Isn't it? Yeah, it is.
I have no idea, to be honest.
I think it's the only like movie I've ever noticed that he talks that way. It was just a weird character interpretation.
No, there was another movie he was in where he bugged the shit out of me. Hang on, let me see if I can figure it out.
Well, think about Kiefer's persona, right? I mean, one of his first movies, Lost Boys, he's always had that macho bad boy edge to him. So when he goes in and plays a character, unlike anything he's ever played before, it was kind of like when Jim Carrey did The Truman Show, or what was it, I can't remember what the name of that stupid movie was. But when they take on a serious character, or they take on like a weak beta type character instead of their usual alpha persona, it throws you for a loop, and you notice things that you wouldn't be inclined to notice.
Universal Sunshine.
Yeah, that stupid movie.
Hey, I like that movie.
That makes one of us.
Is it the woman that you don't like? Because she is.
I'll
sort of
meet
a
you in
pix-
Montauk.
The woman is sort of a manic pixie dream girl.
Will you meet me in Montauk? I'll meet you in Montauk.
No, it wasn't so much the movie or the female character that I didn't like, as it was just rambling and incoherent, and it didn't really seem to say anything when all was said and done other than "I love you." Like, that's easy. I could have said that in like 10 seconds.
You do hate all the characters, though, right?
Say again?
You do hate all the characters, though.
Yes, equally.
Yeah.
Like, Jim Carrey's character was so pathetic, I can't even begin to describe it. Kate Winslet's character was obnoxious beyond belief. And then the doctor who was running the experiment, obviously had the hots for his secretary, but didn't want to admit it, which means he's a sissy. I wanted to punch all of them.
And she's jumping around in her underwear.
Well, the only reason I finished that movie, though, was because I was trying to get in the pants of the girl I was watching it with.
Oh, really? Did you succeed and have 17 kids?
I'd say noble endeavor, but what movie were we talking about?
Eternal
The
Sunshine.
Eternal
Sunshine
Sunshine
of
of the
the Spotless
Spotless
Mind.
God, so not
My
worth it.
favorite movie. I love that movie.
I don't know, dude. She was a redhead.
I think you made your point, Jim.
Orange head.
It's box redhead. It doesn't count.
No, I'm saying
the
the girl
girl
I
you
was
were going
watching it with was a redhead, so it was kind of worth it.
So the box of the redhead. Either way, I was right.
Jenny says, no, thank you. I'd rather spend time with my husband. She left.
Nicely done, Gretchen.
Hey.
Cool of how long she
Mwah.
lasted.
I am so glad my wife doesn't watch this stuff.
My husband does and then rolls his eyes.
But does she think you've deleted all the memories of all your exes?
No, but I try not to bring it up for obvious reasons. Oh, babe, that was great, but you weren't a redhead like, so and so. It doesn't fly. It does not fly.
Not the best
I'm sorry.
phrasing, honestly. Not the best phrasing.
After dinner, she's like, "So you want to watch Eternal Sunshine?" You're like, "No need."
Yeah, no. It's actually funny too because my wife is obsessed with what I like to call BBC soap operas,
Oh god.
which are their like period piece romantic dramas, which I can't stand. But then I really don't have a leg to stand on because while she's sitting there watching that, I'm on YouTube watching memes. So
Rot your brain either way. Sorry, I have to go back into the wind tunnel. I'll be back.
Memes on YouTube.
Memes are fun. I mean, I memed last night. That's nothing more than a meme. But I mean, there's certain times where like there's the only response is to meme.
Or GIF.
want some excitement? Snap her to a Slim Jim.
Like,
When I bite into a York peppermint patty.
how do you seriously respond to something that's like, I forgive you for something that you technically didn't do, but I perceive, and that the other person has done worse, but I forgive you, and I want to punch you in the face, but I forgive you. Like, I mean, and then unity, but you're not a real Christian. Like, how serious am I going to take that? Like, meme time.
You know what that reminds me of? Is Shrek. When Lord Farquaad is about to send the knights out on the mission to rescue the Princess Fiona. It says, some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Pretty much.
Well, I hope you forgave them, Holy.
I'll forgive them when they try to drop me in the lake of fire, because that's what they want to do.
I think that's probably how I'd respond. I forgive you for forgiving me.
I don't know if
Forgiveness
she's
exception.
preggers or not. Like, when her mom says she was fixed, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Maybe it's an immaculate conception.
Can you stop saying fixed?
Why can't I say fixed?
In relation to her, why not?
Oh, Gretchen!
Ooh.
Hey, now.
Your role in the community is not to be mean.
Meow, meow.
If Tammy hasn't yet been spayed, someone really needs to take her to a vet.
I
Oh
think
my
I was
God,
just
Gretchen.
out-edged.
It's okay. Gretchen's a filthy Orthodox anyway.
A savage, filthy Orthodox.
Savage. So Jim was blocked by G-Man, finally.
I win.
What feelings did you hurt of his?
So it was on that thread where I posted Kevin's amazing soundboard and its domain name, www.preachingtothechoirministries.com. And G thought he was going to get all funny and be like, thank me for the free advertising and everything. And I'm like, dude, click the link, please.
Do you have a link to this thread? I want to see this.
It's on my, it's on my profile.
And he just blocked. So he's seen it. Like he went there.
Yeah, he responded in the comment because when you told us all about Preaching to the Choir Ministries, getting registered as the soundboard, I shared it and I said, hey everybody, and I tagged G-Man and said G-Man has a website.
Hey.
So one of my friends, who's not in any way, shape, or form involved with the GDC, replies and it's like, what is this G-Man drama that you keep talking about, man? I'm like, I'm really out of touch. And I said, well, long story short, G-Man is a self-styled Protestant internet preacher who is wrong about nearly everything.
Uh-huh.
So, like, 3 weeks later, G-Man finally checks his G+ notifications, sees that I've tagged him in this, and responds with his typical, well, you know, am I wrong about the Black Hebrew Israelites? Am I wrong about, I've said nice things about the Holy Roman Catholic Church, am I wrong about that? And I'm thinking, no, that's why I said nearly everything.
First off, when was it last called the Holy Roman Catholic Church? Second off, when the fuck did he
That's my
say
fault.
nice about him?
That's my fault.
I
That he
think
calls it the
that-
Holy Roman Church.
He must have
That's my
deleted
fault.
all his-
I'm totally
all his
serious.
Comments on the thread as well because I can't see them.
And by the way,
Well, I can't see it either anymore because he blocked me.
no,
And the
really, it
thread
is my
comment.
fault that he calls it that. And by the way, that was me. I was talking about me being fixed.
Oh,
I'm the cat that's spayed or whatever.
Well, anywho, right? So G-Man says, I want you to go one-on-one with me about this. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh, got him. This is going to be fun. And I says, no, really, you want to go one-on-one? That's funny because when I asked you to go one-on-one, you bitched out.
mm-hmm.
And it's like, all right, sir, you are just a troll, and I'm not going to pay any attention to you. And then I go back to reference the thread because I tagged Drag in it. Drag's like, I'm blocked, and I go back to screen grab it for him, and it's like, oh shit, I'm blocked too. Now I just have this no one that I'm replying to in my comments. So that's how G-Man blocked me.
I'm trying to add Christian Smith to my green chat, but it's not letting me.
Okay, so does it or does it not give the link away when you screen share?
Oh, I don't care. I mean, worst case scenario goes.
When you screen share, Ken.
I mean, worst case scenario goes if I get sniped. I mean, we rebuild. Big deal.
No, I mean because of that whole don't share it, don't share it, Christian anarchist, don't share it.
Oh, that's a lot of bullshit. It's
Okay.
very easy enough to not share it if you just switch to a different tab, but even if you do share it, someone has to type it out. They wanna
Yeah,
use it.
and if you've ever noticed what these Hangout links look like, who the heck wants to do that?
Me.
Yeah, it has to be someone like obsessive, like in
Yeah, it has to
like,
be somebody
like
that's absolutely freaking OCD with no life whatsoever and has nothing better to do with their time. Oh, hi, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin.
Ooh.
But Kevin, we like your work.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, Gretchen!
By the way, if any of you are not blocked by G-Man and are also friends with me on the Google Plus, would you mind screen share or screen grabbing that whole conversation and sending it to me, please?
I'm gonna put a link to oh, that's the post. Hold on. Add this account to your circles, and maybe I'll be able to see it then.
All right, hang on a sec.
Add that account.
RSC wants to be updated about everything that he missed.
What do you miss?
G-Man reached for a Coke and hurt his back. I don't know, like some sort of injury, and we don't know why. Mystery injury. I think a herniated disc. I don't know what. I don't know something.
He said it was a herniated disc.
Drag said something about UTI. I don't know what that was all about.
That was also a reference, though.
So here's the thing, Jim. Like, G-Man does not have me blocked on my main account, but none of his posts are showing up in that thread. So he must have deleted all of them anyway.
Of course he did.
So yeah.
No, he went in for a herniated disc and found out he had a UTI as well.
How do you find that
That's
out
all.
by accident? Like, I'd find that out right away because it hurts.
That's miserable. That's ouch.
That's the question everybody dreads too. Does it burn when you pee?
Oh.
I thought that was
I
like
mean,
one of the
I'm not
first
saying
questions.
poetic justice, but poetic justice.
Stop it. You're going to have a video made of you because
the poet-
you wished a UTI on someone.
Well, here's the thing: is the insanely poetic justice is that he sits there and tells me that the Reaper is coming for me when I mentioned that I'm going to probably be going back into the hospital fairly soon because I could feel another stroke coming on. Tells me to repent because Reaper is coming for me. Then he ends up in the hospital the same fucking weekend, and I point out the stupidity of this whole fucking situation. And then we have people doing backflips trying to defend G-Man and coming there defending him against me when I wasn't attacking him. I was poking fun at Christianity and how if G-Man ends up in the hospital, it's not a sign from God. But if I end up in the hospital, apparently it is. How the fuck does that work?
Silence, atheist.
Yeah. Goose gander, what the fuck? But no, we have to flip out over this horse shit.
Well, the funny really thing is, like, I never prayed for him to get harmed. I just prayed that he'd get removed from the internet. I didn't say that he'd get run over by a bus or anything. That's not how I pray. But I did giggle a little bit because I said, "Oh, answered prayer." But I mean, I don't really think that, I wished harm upon him, but it was a tasteless joke, but it's still kind of funny,
Well, here's really the biggest problem with what I see as Christianity on the internet. I'm sitting there and I'm calling G-Man to essentially repent, and then I try to show him the error of his ways and all these other things. A whole bunch of other people start coming down on him, and he's ignoring everywhere. Then, out of nowhere, seemingly, thump right in the back. Bang, he's on his ass, and it's almost like he was stricken down. Wow, that's kind of cool. That could even be evidence of. Then comes Shani insisting that this can't be a message from God because he's a believer. Well, so much for me thinking there might be evidence somewhere. Fuck it. And this is kind of the joke of it all. The moment that there's something that you could cite saying, well, this might potentially even be evidence of, boom, rug pulled out by the believers.
Well, I think it is funny because, like Brother John does point out that Job was tested and he's considered a righteous man. Like, he had bad things happen to him for a purpose. I mean, that does happen to us all. But I mean, I don't know. Did the BHI answers get That's a good question. I do not know what Black Hebrew Israelites are praying.
Praying for more white slaves. I don't fucking know.
I don't know, man.
So what happened to all the rest of the apostles? How did they die? Yeah. Yep. Of course.
Well, not from random illness, though.
Just saying.
Injury.
I mean, if you think that becoming a Christian, you're gonna have some kind of easy life, no.
Yeah, but then they're gonna compare oh, I twisted my back or I popped a disc to I've been crucified upside down.
Oh my gosh! Every time I hear G-Man sit there and say that that's satanic, I'm like, no, you fucking moron.
Oh,
what's his name says that too. What's his name?
Matt Slick.
No. The guy, his name's starts with an A or something, and he's possibly sort of related cousin-wise to Drag.
Oh, and Antonio?
Veckel.
No. Or are you talking about Veckel?
No.
What is Veckel that might be? I don't
know. His name starts with an A.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name though.
Yeah, I've been offline too long to remember his name.
Be thankful. Offline's good. Sorry.
What the hell is that?
It's bird.
Take that bird back because that thing is scary.
What the hell is that? Is it deadly?
It's a magpie. Of course it's deadly. It's in Australia.
It's a freaking deadly bird. Satanic.
Smart as fuck.
It's the guy with the best Australian impression in the internet.
G'day, mate.
Okay.
That's an Indian accent, yeah?
Stop it. You're going to get me voted down for being racist again.
Anyway, if you could call tech support from India, do you get an Australian operator? I'm just wondering.
Probably.
Scholar fiction.
This is, you gotta do this every time I come in the room, like a little song.
So Skylar, have you ever been told that people want to punch you in the face, or am I special?
Punch in the face? No. I've had people threaten to kill my children before. That's happened.
Really?
Yeah, I had to. We almost had a shot with me no hat. I had to turn that off. Damn, I wasn't wearing my hat in that shot.
To deal with a higher caliber.
Yeah, I was confused.
Just get punched.
Yeah, no, I've had I've had people threaten my children's life. I've had some weird shit. I've had people send me. It was my own fault for checking it because people will send me through messages like links to stuff, and it was like one time it was like this weird Christian thing, but it was like it was like find Jesus, but it was also a bunch of pictures of like death and like suffering, and it was the fucking most bizarre thing that I've ever run into. I was like, well, this was my fault for clicking on the link, but it was so I can't even. It was just so strange that I had to look at it for a second. But yeah, no,
I just link people to scat porn.
Oh God, that's awful. No, but that's it. I did watch that video from earlier. It was pretty freaking hilarious.
Which one? There's a lot of them out right now.
What was the one with you talking about like "come at me, bro" thing? And that was like
No,
pretty damn
like
funny.
yeah, so you know that spawned from being in Drag's chat and they're like, oh well J-Man hurt his back, so ceasefire, but then some people are like, oh I'm so sorry, J-Man, and like I'm like, okay, like look, just because the bro hurt his back doesn't mean that like we're gonna be like holding hands singing Kumbaya, like he's still a malicious asshole.
Well,
And-
then there's me who said, okay, great, he's in the hospital because he hurt his little back. I just had a fucking stroke. Screw off. Same
I
weekend.
think
Fuck yourself.
Trump's slip disc.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually. While there's the opportunity, I just want to issue a challenge to G-Man to come and box me. To prove whether it exists or not, once and for all. All right? And we're doing a GoFundMe for that, of course.
Hey, if you boxed him, would you please stomp a mud hole in him?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we've degraded to violence in this community. Like it all started with Shanny and it's gone downhill. No, actually, no, it started with TE, didn't it?
Kind of.
Well-
that was one of the weirdest things, actually.
There
Well,
was
actually-
Ronnie challenging Drag to a
TE
boxing
and
match.
I mean, blue offers to stab.
Blue what now?
Oh, blue's offered to stab people a few times.
Oh, I know. He's useful like that.
He likes to want to. Isn't Blue the one who likes to tell people that they hope they get cancer?
Yeah, I hope your family gets cancer. I hope you get cancer. Come here and duel me with knives. Duel me with knives.
You know what's
Um,
funny too is Blue is all up in Scott's shit right now, and it's hilarious.
It's so funny because
I don't
Scott's one
even
of the
know
nicest
why.
people in the whole community, and they're like, Scott's this nice moderate. Get fucked, Scott.
Yeah, I don't even think Scott knows why he pissed off Blue. I don't even think Blue knows why Scott pissed him off.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure Blue thinks he has the. You can tell he's like obsessed.
No, Scott said something like a long, long time ago, and he didn't necessarily mean it, get it. And he keeps telling him to take it back, and Scott's like, fuck you.
Well, look, Dramagate was fucking 2013, like 5 years ago almost. And he still hates Negation of P to this day over that. Blue does.
Surprise.
Renee says, Oprah voice, you get cancer. You get cancer. You all get cancer.
You know
Everybody
that
gets
expression. Did the only consistent factor in all your failed relationships is you?
Good point. It's true.
Blue, if you're watching, I'm just saying.
Well, remember too, Blue was the one who did that. What didn't he have like the complete Jason Burns channel, like where every video was purely about Jason Burns, over and over again? Like, there's got to come a point where that obsession is unhealthy. You got to make videos about other people, or maybe not just about people in general. Just make videos.
And then you delete all your Veckle videos.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
I'm
just
pretty
had
guilty.
opening.
No, I'm guilty. You know what? But I did. To be fair, it seemed like I made a lot of Veckle videos, but they weren't that many. There wasn't like. All right, there was a lot. Let me just come to terms with it. But it started with
He made you
G-Man.
famous, man.
I thought it was the G-Man videos that made me more famous, but I guess Veckle I did. But Veckle was so easy; he would just say crazy shit, and I could just put it up on a video, and he made it
awesome
easy for me.
music.
What do you want me to do? Like, I can't not help that he says crazy
Well,
shit.
And the thing with Veckle is you always hope for more for him, right? Because you know he's just smart
Yes.
enough where he can do better.
Exactly. Like I was like, you can be a better person. I know you can. You can do this, and he just.
And then he's like, "Lols, no."
Nope.
Mhm.
Well, and then I made just to do it. I did it on purpose too. So I made this little thing. Like I forgot on YouTube where you could put like, groups of videos or something. I was like, Veckle, I'm always watching. People could see, like you could see that channel when I delete it now, but you could see that group thing that I would put videos in when you went to my channel. So I did it so Veckel would see it, and then every time Veckel was in a video, I'd take that video and move it to the Veckel I'm always watching category as a joke, and he got really upset about it. But the best one though was did you remember the video I made called Veckel is a Black Hebrew Israelite?
Is it the one where he had the belt on his head?
Yes. Because he kept saying that I was, what do you call it? When you misquote somebody or you take somebody out of context and you make a video. I forgot what the quote he would use for it. But I was like, listen, I'll really do that and show you what that looks like. So I basically just made a video of him acting like it was a video from some other obscure channel that he was on where he was pretending to be a Black Hebrew Israelite. And I was like, you know what? There you go, Veckel. I'll take this out of context and let everybody watch it. And then it was hilarious.
Straw man is straw man.
Straw man's a straw man. What are you going to do?
You know what? Speaking of straw men, it's not really a straw man, but it just reminds me of something funny. I've been talking to Wolfbitten in the comment sections of his videos, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, Skylar, for introducing me to that man. Because he is 10 kinds of fun.
Are you going to do a conversation with him? Or are you going to do a debate with him?
He's wanting to go one-on-one, and I'm not opposed to it, but I don't miss Friday Fusion Frenzy.
Yeah.
Unless I like something that physically prevents me from being somewhere with an internet connection. Right? This is like the best hangout of the week, and I don't miss it. So I wasn't going to do it tonight. My daughter's getting baptized this weekend, which means we have family coming from all corners of the earth to the house this weekend. And my wife and my mother-in-law are freaking the fuck out. So tomorrow's probably a bad night. I may do it next week. I may not. I don't know. But I definitely want to go one-on-one with him. But this mother trucker, right? I straight up ask him, what is the falsification criteria for evolutionary theory? And this guy sends me link after link after link describing how to falsify theories. I'm like, no, dude, that's not what I asked. Tell me how to falsify it, not what falsification is. It's like, oh, man. I would have more luck talking to my boot.
Well, and he's very deceptive too. He does stuff very deceivingly on purpose. It isn't that he plays dumb like he doesn't understand your question, but he knows exactly what you're asking him. I've caught that a couple of times when speaking to him, where I'd ask him something directly, and then he'd answer the question in some weird way that really wasn't applied to my question. I was like, "What are you doing there? Like, don't pretend like you just didn't understand what I just said."
That would be an impossible question to answer.
That would be an impossible question to answer. Exactly. Dude, I don't know how I track these people. Somehow I just happen to find them. They come on my channel. It's a lot of lulls, but I don't know, man.
I'm glad you do. I've been having a lot of fun with it, man. It's great.
I can't wait. I mean, that Matt Powell guy was probably one of the most strangest that I've met, or at least one of the most extreme that I've met in a long time. With like his like kill kids that are disobedient, and I mean they're real comfortable with like the extremists are always real comfortable killing the gays. Like then they're like, oh yeah, gays, yeah, line them up, kill them, like no big deal. But then like you start bringing up other stuff to see if they're consistent. And they're like, yeah, but, you know, we need to make some regulation on this killing the kids thing, like stoning the disobedient children to death.
I always like to ask, why stop with the gays?
Yeah, like, why not keep going? If you're going to bring it to that level, like, why not, you know, I was like, what about adulterers? Kill adulterers? You know, you went down with that? Yeah, well, you know, we need to get some judges in there. But
there goes Congress.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go to that one now.
Don't forget the non-virgins as well.
Oh, non-virgins. There's a lot of people we can put it to death under Levitical law. So,
well, it's the Oprah reference again, right? You get stoned, and you get stoned, and you get stoned, and we're not talking about cannabis.
Oh wait, he's picking up sticks, and he gets stoned. Yeah.
Was that a F word reference? Because picking up sticks.
No, picking up sticks on the Sabbath.
Oh yeah, that's right. You watch football?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, football. That's one thing I got to hand to the Adventists, right? I may dox myself to some people, but I live and work in a Seventh-day Adventist heavy town, and like no one around here watches college football at all. So I mean, at least you're consistent with that, and I got to hand it to Adventist. Like Justin Wilson, if you happen to watch this, congrats, bro. You're actually consistent as a Christian. Thank you for that one. I don't know if I really had a point with that. I just felt
I don't
like
know.
pointing that out.
But I just keep thinking that football would be so much more interesting. That if during the game, all the Christians were trying to stone the players to death for doing something and working on the weekend.
That would be
It'd be a much different game.
Just think of the concussions then.
I think it would star Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it would be called The Running Man.
Don't the Seventh-day Adventists, they don't celebrate church. They celebrate church on Saturday, right? Is what it is?
Yes, which is why none of them watch college football.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, I thought you said like regular football. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it's just because they believe the week starts on a Sunday and then it ends on a Saturday, because that would be the seventh day, I guess. Is there logic behind that? I worked with a Seventh-day Adventist one time. It was really. I actually asked him about that. Yeah, I think that's what it is, because I think that the week starts on Sunday, the first day of the week, and then it would end on a Saturday. Would be the seventh day, and that's the day of rest, I guess.
Well, technically, our calendar does start on a Sunday.
Maybe that's what it is. I think that's why they believe that. But they also, I mean, they do Ellen G. White is like one of their big prophets in that religion. And and it's really interesting stuff, but they keep that kind of quiet. They don't very conservative too, the churches, from what I understand. Like they're very like, there's no like the music they play is very choiry. Like there's no like it's not like modern rock like some like the New Age churches and stuff like that, or these modern Christian churches.
They need to get good.
Well, that was the thing I was most amazed with when I started many years ago being Christian. Was like I grew up in a Catholic church most of my life. And when I went to a non-denominational church for the first time, and I was like, is there a rock band here? Like, what's going on? Like, we got people with guitars and drums, and, they're singing these, like, rock Christian songs. Like, it really threw me off. But, I loved it later on. I was like, man, I love this. Like, let's get some rock music in here.
Gregorian chant or bust.
Yeah. What was that? But there were some real, I can't remember them now. Like there's some couple Christian songs I used to really get into, like when they play them. But like, yeah, this is my jam right now. Let's get this rocking out to Jesus going at this moment. So,
well, to be fair, every like 10 years or so, CCM manages to shit out a decent album. Right? Like, does that? And this is mostly does anybody remember DC Talk's album Jesus Freak?
Oh, I remember. I didn't like DC Talk.
Does that make me a stranger? My
Yeah,
best friend was born in a manger.
Backle, if you didn't get that one, I was going to have you turn in your Christian card. But, like, that's a damn good album. I went back and listened to it the other day, and I'm like, wow, this album is still good.
But it's not Jesus Freak that's good. That's not a very good song. It's like What If I Stumble's a good song. But
see, I used to listen to all the Christian metal, like As I Lay Dying and Emery, and like, well, there wasn't metal, but Lifehouse was like an undercover Christian band. You guys remember that band, Lifehouse? Like,
Evan Evans started.
Yeah, like where it was like, are they talking about a girl or Jesus? Like trying to figure out, like,
we don't.
It could be either one. I remember I had this friend that was an atheist, and I broke his fucking heart when I told him. I was like, they're singing about Jesus. He's like, no. I'm like, listen to the lyrics. I was like,
well, it's like Switchfoot, right? Like Switchfoot's like that.
I hate Switchfoot. It was like, but it was
hey, you be nice. I'm from San Diego. Shut up. Shut up.
Hey, you know what's funny about? What's funny about As I Lay Dying? Their lead singer is in prison.
Yeah, he tried to pay someone to kill his wife, right, or something like that. Or?
Yes.
Oh my God, As I Lay Dying and like Emery. What was the other? There was a bunch of, but that was the thing at one time at that point. Like a lot of those hardcore metal bands were like these Christian bands coming out, and it was like you couldn't tell if they were Christian or like they were singing about girls, and I don't know, but it was good stuff.
Like, it was an awesome band.
Please. Has anyone here ever heard of Poor Old Lou? Anyone?
Yes.
Yay! One person's heard of them.
They're
I
punk,
still like them to this day, but like nobody ever knows who they are.
What, 1,000 Foot Crutch?
Oh, I've heard of them.
I
Thrice
know.
was another one.
1,000 Foot
Zayo?
Crutch is okay. Like
Zayo, yeah.
1,000 Foot Crutch is so much better live than they are in albums, because on live they actually have some guts to their music. And when they get on the album, the CCM people, I don't know, or whoever their, I think it's Tooth and Nail, whoever their
They were a
record
great
guy is,
record
they
label,
tame
yeah.
them down, they water them down.
I
Dude,
used to, yeah.
speak-
Go ahead.
Speaking of live, you need to go see. You should have seen Zayo at least once live.
I was a big MXPX fan back in the day too. All the punk rock. They were
Oh,
like
man.
MXPX
Move to
pop. Was,
Bremerton.
oh my god, it was the best.
Take me
Like,
back.
that album, man. I listened to that album over and over again. Well, most of their albums were so good. The MXPX.
Project 86. Anyone?
I remember Project 86. I've seen them in concert. So they used to have this thing called Lala Paloma at Point Loma Nazarene, which is right on the ocean. They have this beautiful campus, and it's a Christian college. And they had this thing called Lala Paloma back when Lollapalooza was big. And I saw tons of Christian bands. And that's where I fell in love with Sixpence None the Richer, actually. Sixpence None the Richer, before they sang their Kiss Me. They were singing those things. And I'm a big fan of them. But they're different because they tend to have 6 timing and they tend to be like a little more, we read poetry and stuff, and we're a little more, I don't know, they're very coffee house, but I like them.
I was about to say very coffee house.
I like my coffee house music.
I was never really into any Christian music that much. Like, my parents wouldn't let me listen to secular music, so I could go to the Christian bookstore and buy whatever music I wanted, but I never really liked anything. And then I found Poor Old Lou, and I got into that a little bit, but that was around the time when I started listening to secular music too. So
What, not even Creed?
Creed?
Creed.
No, not really. I spent a weekend driving the Newsboys around town. If anyone remembers that.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. They
Was
came
that
to
before
town
or
and-
after Michael?
Oh, it was before. It was when they were.
Okay.
What was the Christian rapper that sounded like Eminem? You guys remember what his name was?
That sounded like Eminem.
Yeah, he sounded just
I
like.
know there was.
I'm gonna have to look it up because
I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember.
Lecrae? No, he doesn't sound like Eminem.
Christian rapper. He actually had some pretty good stuff. I mean, he sounded just like Eminem, like really badly. And he even kind of acknowledged it.
I think there were some limits on what our Christian bookstore would carry. A lot of the so-called Christian music wasn't Christian enough.
Yeah.
So there were some limits. Like even Striper, there were people like that wouldn't let us listen to that.
That's satanic.
You know,
I know.
You know who's a big Striper fan?
My sister.
Petra's okay. Petra's okay.
Are you guys familiar with the YouTuber Razor Fist, or AKA the Rageaholic?
Have you guys heard of Cliff Richard?
I don't think so.
5 o'clock, just walking around. I call you up, but you just bring me down.
No.
We know we're old, Simon. We know we're old,
We're
Simon.
all going on a
Oh, wait.
summer holiday.
I assume Deirdre would know Jars of Clay.
Which song do you want me to sing?
Oh yeah, you do know them. Yeah, I always liked them, and I don't know.
I still like them. I mean, I still like Jars of Clay. I like Sixpence None the Richer. I'll stand by some of these bands and point out. I can even really point out where they shine. DC Talk's a little bit less defensible. There's a couple places where they shine, but they're. I mean, have you ever listened to DC's Talks? I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want your sex for now.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the trouble with the whole
two
Western
really
Christian music industry is that they spent an awful lot of time aping the fucking sinners instead of just making their own music. They just sort of went, well, if you like this group, you'll love this group that sounds like them, but now with more Jesus-iness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and there's another problem too, right? Is every so often, like 5 years or so, they will have a format warping album, like the aforementioned DC Talk, right? Jesus Freak was such a runaway wild hit that for like a solid 10 years, everybody was trying to do it all over again. Like rather than try to succeed in your own way, everybody just tried to bank off the success of the sound.
Well, that's why I liked Poor Old Luke, because they were their own thing. And I mean, I guess there were other grunge bands and stuff that came out around the same time. But I was like them.
Yep, that's really a song.
Yeah.
Isn't on-demand music great because you can play cheesy music without actually having to admit to owning the album?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that I played that is going to make my channel crash.
You know what's hilarious? Was the music trivia for you, Christian music trivia for you. Anyone here who has seen Die Hard 3, the one with Jeremy Irons?
Yes.
If anyone who's seen that, the head voiceless psychopath, like this chick, who's basically a raging psychopath. She's got very few lines in the movie, but what little she does do basically marks her as the crazy of the movie for the enemy. She's actually a former Christian rock singer who the industry tried to mold as the Christian Stevie Nicks. And I wish I could remember her name, but it's friggin' hilarious how she just literally rebelled from that as fast as she could go.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't. She changed her name too after she quit.
I was just gonna say Amy Grant because it's hilarious and not at all right.
I love Amy Grant.
Really? I
Grant.
never liked her. Never did.
Well, let me tell you about Amy Grant, actually. Amy Grant came to San Diego, and I had a friend who was, when she was in 6th grade, was brutally raped and beaten in a canyon here on our way home from school. And Amy Grant was contacted when she was in town, and she spent like a whole freaking weekend with her.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, not like right when it happened, but somebody had some sort of connection and thought it would be good for her to have that experience to kind of offset some of the trauma that she was having. And Amy Grant was like totally like,
No, that's cool.
awesome.
I mean, I like her that way. I just don't really care for her music, but I don't know.
No, she's super poppy, right? But
Yeah, exactly. I'm not into that, but
I don't care for what the Christian industry did to her. They railroaded her, as if she had to stay with her husband.
I just want to say I found that rapper KJ52. If you want to put the link in the sidebar, if you ever want to see it.
Yeah,
2009.
that's right.
It took me a minute to figure out the rapper, but he actually had a song that was like Dear Slim, but it was like the Christian version of it. But he was actually pretty good. I'm going to give the guy credit where credit was due. Oh, remember what was the Christian metal band? Pod something.
POD.
POD. That's it. POD.
Yeah, they are also from my city.
Yep.
And I've met them, and I've done sound for them.
San Diego and Orange County had a huge impact on the edgier Christian music in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Supertone, strike back.
Oh, my sister is still in love with Skillet. She just can't stop listening.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I don't know, but she likes him.
You know who's not from California though? Are the Insiders.
No, they're not, and
They are from my hometown, Royal Oak, Michigan.
And I think I only like one of their songs really, which is what, Carnival or something. Wah, wah,
I just have to plug them because I used to go to their drummer's Bible study.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nice guy, by the way.
That link I put in, I can never remember what the band is called, but they managed to snag John Anderson from Yes to do some of the background vocals and foreground vocals for that particular track there, which makes the song far better, I think, than it would otherwise be.
It's not Judas Priest, is it?
Oh, for him.
Oh
okay.
man, nobody mentioned the best one of all yet. Whiteheart.
The fuck is Whiteheart?
Whiteheart? Oh man, it's like early 80s. It's so cheesy.
Well,
You know,
I mean, most early 80s pop music is pretty heavy on the fromage scale.
Wow, yeah. Here, I should show. Oh yeah. This
speaking
album
of Judas Priest, just as an aside, my entire perception of the band changed when I found out that Rob Halford is gay.
Well, that'll do it.
Like Turbo Lover took on a whole new meaning.
You got another thing coming.
That
See,
was
just-
quite obvious, really, looking at some of the videos and seeing them on stage.
Just click on that link in the
not
side chat.
necessarily.
Click on that link in the side chat and just look at the album cover. It's brilliant.
I mean, not necessarily, Simon. I mean, just because a man likes to, get dressed up like something out of Mad Max doesn't necessarily mean he, he likes a little bit of Sunday surprise.
Sunday
Right.
surprise.
Dressing up as a biker with cut leathers, sunglasses,
You know,
and a big moustache.
and then, when he had one, he had himself a big mustache. Where's Groovy? Why is Groovy not talking? Groovy, 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 Groovy.
But they were Christian. They were a Christian band. Let's just add that.
Hey,
We killed Groovy with Christian music.
No, Groovy. No, Groovy. Well, we'll have to sing them songs from our world then. Groovy is like, yeah.
Yeah.
Down and down to be your enemy.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Is that for something from Duck Dynasty? Is that the theme tune for Duck Dynasty?
I don't know. I was trying to do. What was that band where they go? "Ooh, ah, ah, ah."
Oh.
Oh, Disturbed, right?
Yes.
That's more like, hey. Man. And it goes to man. And it's stupefied, but it's why.
Oh,
It might-
Person I love stupidity. Right. Although they do a fantastic version of Sound of Silence, though.
Absolutely.
So what you doing, Groovy? What you doing, buddy?
This is where you're supposed to say something profound.
Something profound.
I'm too high for that.
I'm too high. That's when you say something profound is when you're high.
I'm too busy just listening to you people go on about stuff.
Like everything
And
is
trying
like,
to help Skylar with the name of the stupid rapper, but he didn't hear me, and then y'all started talking, and then 5 minutes later he fucking says it.
Sorry. I'm terrible.
Death to Skylar. Death to he.
Someone passed the
Horrible.
stones.
Stabby death.
So I was reading about Jewish executions,
That'll
and
teach you.
there are times
Light
where
reading right here.
no,
Light-
check it out. Check it out. I was like, okay, so how many times did they really stone people? And there is a saying like the Sanhedrin that stones and actually has the death penalty once per 7 years is considered reckless. And I was like, okay, so not that often, I guess. But then I was looking at it, and like one of the death penalties they actually had worked out was death by burning. But what they did is they heated up like lead or something, and they dumped it down this person's throat to kill them. I was like, Game of Thrones stuff, man.
Well, that's fantastic. Is there anything else fucking macabre and nasty we can hear about today?
I'm
I know
just saying.
the Ottoman used to like killing people by shoving swords up their ass. Oh, all right, let me write that down.
I'm just saying, like Levitical laws, totes perfect.
I wonder though how they would even like have that kind of data, right? Like how would they know how often like they kill people under the. I don't know. It seems like they took the time to write the shit down and say, "Hey, you can get killed for this." But
it wasn't like the Romans. The Romans like to fucking record everything they fucking did.
Yeah. that's
Today, the Roman Empire scratched its left butt, not its right butt, left butt, right over there near Egypt.
Right.
I'd like,
You know,
if I can go back in time and live in another era, I would live during the Roman era. But I want to be a rich Roman, though, powerful one.
But yeah, you would want to be very careful. You would want to be very careful exactly what kind of fucking Roman you would want to be.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you be the wrong Roman, and boy, oh boy.
Not too rich, so you get too much attention, but rich enough, right?
Just enough to where I live comfortably.
Yeah. Roman emperors near the later end of the Imperium had a bad habit of like funding overseas campaigns by looking at the census and tax records and picking the top 30 guys on top and suddenly finding that they're traitors to the state.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I need to take a moment and say the word to the moderate C word moderators. Do not flag the moderate C words announcement for a hangout, whoever did that. It's like this has been flagged by a moderator. I'm like, who did that?
I don't know.
Was it you, Groovy?
Don't look at me. I don't have the power for that.
Oh yeah, you're not a mod in this.
Me and Groovy, we just chilling, right, Groovy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like everything is like.
I blame
real.
Renee.
I don't care if it takes Groovy extra time to say it. I will wait. 'Cause she's my buddy. Groovy and me used to have these calls, and Groovy would put like from upside down to the camera's perspective. She'd put like the top part of her head in the view, and then just her eyes, and go, "Hello," and she'd do it back. It used to make me laugh. Jesus, that made me laugh.
I used to think when I first met Groovy and Char, I used to actually mix you two up for a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
I'm slightly less squirrely.
Those of you who are aware of the existence of a Discord server called Krillism, it's actually half fallen apart today.
Indeed. Well,
somebody
on its way.
Do tell.
No, it hasn't been on its way for some time. It's actually rather surprising, all things considered. But I guess Krill he's got some things he's got to do, and he's lost his heart's not in it anymore. So he's handed the keys. He's taken everybody's mods away except for Molly, who you guys may remember from the waning days of Nadia's Hangouts.
Indeed, yeah.
He's given her mods, and he's basically said, "I'm walking away from this." Tom, the bunny Tom, has taken all of his creative energies and walked away from Krillism and opened his own Krillism server. So
his own cesspool.
Yeah, his own shit pit.
I signed into Krillism once. I never actually joined any of the chat ever. I've never actually talked to anyone in there.
It's a very, very different place, and it's not for everybody.
I don't know. I'm not interested.
You gotta be wanting to do battle, and you gotta be like totally up for rolling and shit.
I don't care for that. Yeah.
I mean, they're pretty much at the level of should babies be aborted after they've been
hit in the head with a ball-peen hammer.
Yeah, after they're born.
Unless they're having race debates or shit.
It's racial realism day all day, every day, everywhere.
Yeah, as long as Dio's in there.
This guy running around in circles going, cock, 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 cock. I swear to God, this is like terrible.
When it comes to race realism, I only have one thing to say. PC Master Race, get wrecked, scrub.
Okay.
It's a gaming reference for people who use consoles. They are subhuman.
I have a PlayStation. It's not my
Get
fault
wrecked.
that It's not my fault that my gaming PC is in pieces and my husband cannibalized it.
Listen, I don't give a shit what you play your games on. I just happen to think that, if you already have a machine that can play games, plus do all the other shit, why would you buy another machine specifically to play games that doesn't do a whole bunch of other shit that your thing that does a whole bunch of other shit also plays games can play?
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
it's like a Swiss Army knife.
You can't hook up whatever. What are they? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. The thing that just captures your movement to a computer. Can you?
Sure, you can.
Can you? I don't know.
Sure can.
I have an Xbox because I have one of those because I have some of those games, but I got it for like $100 with like 10, 20 games or something, and I just
That was a good deal. That was
Yeah.
some good wampum.
Well, that's the only reason I have one. I would never buy a console if it wasn't really cheap, but
Yep, that was a good wampum.
My son's
But
taking
that's-
over my PS4. I don't ever get to play it anymore. My 7-year-old took it over, and I'm never gonna get it back. Basically.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, so I got
speaking
a
of,
Super NES Classic, and my 4-year-old nephew saw it. He was like, "Can you put that on the TV?" And I was like, "Please just forget that exists because you were not laying a hand on it, you little mother."
Speaking of gaming, my wife just texted me and told me that my 10-year-old son just stole the Kindle out of the bookshelf and bought $20 worth of games on it.
Nice.
Oh no.
So all the good things I've said about fatherhood, I take it back.
Yeah, my son's only
Maybe-
got me for one thing before, which was some kind of Minecraft something. I don't think he did it on purpose. I'm convinced he just thought it was downloading it. But I had
I
a
never
long
thought you were
talk
going
with
to say
that.
that it was that much worth of books, and I was about to be excited for you, but shit. Games?
No, actually, I got him right now. I got him reading the old Kevin J. Anderson Star Wars novels.
those are cool. The best one is
They were
the
pretty good.
Tales of the Bounty Hunter. It's not an Anderson one, but you got to read that one. That was the best one.
Oh yeah, they're all good. Right now, I just got him started on the Jedi Academy trilogy
Yeah.
because I figured that's an easy one for a 10-year-old to get into. It's not really complex, but it's still pretty epically Star Wars, so he should be
Oh.
able to dig it.
No, Tales of the Bounty Hunters is a Kevin J. Anderson book. Well, he wrote some of the
Yeah.
stories in it. Yeah, it's a compilation. But
What you mean? You don't want to have them reading a Karen J. Travis book, and then 2 or 3 years from now arguing the idea that you can hold 3 million worlds with 3 million soldiers in the Clone Wars?
Oh God,
You don't want that?
no.
And then
No.
having your kid call you a Talifan?
The only Karen Travis book I liked was the Boba Fett books.
Because I always had a thing, like a special, I guess, affinity towards the clones. I always enjoyed the clones. I like what she did with the clones, how she sort of fleshed them out and truly made them an army instead of a bunch of throwaway things. That was nice and all, but when she went really over the edge, like you just just stop. Both of you guys had a bad day, and you doubled down and you doubled down and you doubled down, and now there's there's a running gun battle on two sides of a fandom that there just doesn't need to be there. Like, just fucking admit that you were wrong. You admit that you were wrong. We'll bang your heads against a wall and we'll come back and start fresh.
I wish they would start fresh because where Star Wars is right now is freaking awful.
Oh, I know. I think one of the biggest problems is that they're very slowly but inexorably introducing us to the idea that you can no longer simply watch the movies and expect to know everything you need to know about the universe to have a complete sphere of knowledge of it. They're very slowly force feeding you the notion that yes, you must watch Star Wars Rebels. Yes, you must read some novels, and there's a small number of novels you simply must read that will allow you to sort of fill in the blanks. Why was there a battle on Jakku? Where did the fucking resistance come from? Where did the First Order come from? Why does Captain Phasma have a suit of armor made out of the fucking deck plates of Queen Amidala's royal fucking spaceship? And she does, by the way. She does, by the way.
Oh, really? That's actually
yeah,
it's made out of.
Yeah, that's canon. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So
I think it was so much better when it was just Grand Admiral Thrawn, Talon Card, and Mara Jade.
I knew there was something in me that knew that when that first started, it was only a matter of time before we would get the bitchers, pissers, and moaners would start up. And sure enough, it took a little longer than I thought before they emerged, but it was basically right about when episode 1 started, and then people started, complaining about stuff. Most of the time, what they complained about, I didn't necessarily have a big problem with them complaining about it because I didn't like Jar Jar Binks. I didn't know why Jar Jar Binks was there. I didn't like the pacing of the movie. There were a number of scenes in the movie that I thought were fantastic in the visual sense, but it the pacing of the movie was just head scratching, But overall, I agree. Overall, I was very happy that episode 1 had been made as opposed to episode 1 never having been made. But I became slowly aware of the fact that there was a greater and greater number of people who were upset that episode 1 had even been made. And I thought, well, shit, really? You really want to do your fandom like that?
Well, what that's one of the things that got me too, is like just people who are dead set against anything and everything to do with the prequels. Because there were some individually good things there, and like the overall idea was kind of cool, with the Emperor manipulating his way into power and then killing the Jedi off before they even figured out what was happening, right? Like, I don't have a problem with that. I think it was in places poorly executed, but overall, I don't think it was a net loss for the community.
Well, probably one of the biggest problems with episodes 1, 2, and 3 is that somebody forgot that there was no number between 3 and 4.
Yes.
And so you had this, massive amount of content that they were trying to cram in your head during episode 3, and it just wasn't fair. It couldn't be given its proper fucking justice.
I've actually taken for quite some time that 3 should have been at least 2 movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it should have been episode 3 and then episode 0 and then episode 4.
Well, I think that 2 should have ended with Anakin turning to the dark side, and then 3 being him hunting down, killing the Jedi Knights, climactic battle with Obi-Wan.
Any number of ways it could have been better done, but the fact is they just packed in, a whole bunch of stuff.
They could have shifted a lot of things if they just got rid of the pod racing.
Or at least, they could have, or at the very least, the first movie was horrifically paced. It just really was. It spent a lot of if they had started episode 1 with Kenobi and Skywalker going on that mission to protect Padme Amidala. If that's where they had started the movies, they could have really properly done the spacing. Start him out as a 16-year-old kid. He falls into a crush with her, and it's a whirlwind crush, and she's dumb as a stump, so she whatever. Like, you take it from there, right? But this whole existence of Qui-Gon Jinn. What's that?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say about Qui-Gon.
No, I think the only thing about Qui-Gon Jinn was that he created the concept, like he anchored the concept of being able to speak to your dead relatives, or whatever from the Force. But I mean, realistically, what did he do except just create another wave of things happening that couldn't be properly dealt with? That's why it should have started. They should have just discarded him altogether and started with where episode 2 started, but started that as episode 1's beginning.
Well, and that is one of the things that really hacked me off about the continuity, right? You remember when Obi-Wan's ghost was talking to Luke Skywalker after Yoda died, and he said, one of the things that first amazed me about your father was how strong the Force was with him.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's first words in episode 1 about Anakin was, "Why do I sense we've picked up yet another pathetic life form?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, do you not pay attention to your own source material, George?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of really sloppy stuff like that, and there is a lot of really wooden dialogue, like seriously wooden dialogue.
Oh yeah.
Like I can forgive some of the wooden dialogue from the 70s because it was the 70s, but I mean, you know, this whole like people who, you know, galactic senators and stuff who deliver their lines like they're handing you a pizza you just ordered. I mean,
right.
You know, you're just. I mean, it's one thing when that like the opening scene in episode 4, where that black hat, black shirt goober is following Vader around, and he's you know, like if Vader ever stopped all of a sudden, his head would go clear up Vader's ass, and you know he's talking and stuff. I was like, well, will the Senate put up with that? You know, it sounds like the guy's like, you know, like he's been given a bad cheeseburger. But he pulls it off because he's a nobody. He's there for 2 seconds. He's not expected to carry the plot, and he's gone as quickly as he shows up. But there is a lot of
this is completely has nothing to do.
You know,
nothing to do with anything we're talking about here. But have you ever heard that guy's backstory?
Who the goober? Him? That dude? No,
Yeah.
I never heard. No.
Yeah. So he used to be a stormtrooper, according to canon, right? And he was part of Vader's personal stormtrooper legion.
Oh,
the
wait a minute!
501st.
Did he turn out being Vader's one true friend in the whole world?
Yeah. Well, he had basically Vader had given him an order, and he says, "No, like this is a bad idea. We're all going to die." And it turned out that him and Vader were like the only survivors because of that bad order. And Vader said,
Right.
"You know what? I like you. Not only are you smart, but you have the balls to tell me when I'm wrong. You are my right hand man."
Vader's
and he
only
brought
friend.
this guy around. Yeah, well, he brought him around everywhere to tell him when he had a bad idea.
Yeah, and he eventually got to retire safely with his family, I think. If he's the same
I
guy
think
I'm
so,
thinking
yeah.
of. Yeah.
That's the character I want to be, right? The guy who gets paid to tell Vader when he has a bad idea and not get choked out. I am such a nerd.
What did you do to Gus? You made him leave.
I'm sorry, Gus.
I think I really liked Rogue One, but I think I was really hoping with the Star Wars movies they would just do new things rather than try to continue the story. Because like I really liked I think the X-Wing Squadron, that was one of my favorite book series. And I think it has you know, like wouldn't you just like to see like a movie like completely unrelated to like I don't know, Jedis and you know what I mean, just different. I think it would be neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yeah. You know, then you don't even have to worry about canon and the story and all of this stuff. Just use the universe and have some fun.
And that was what I really liked about the X-Wing series.
Yeah, me too. I loved it. It's kind of totally off in another world. Like it's a totally different thing. You don't have to know anything about any Jedis or their life history or whose kid is whose or anything like that.
Well, I like the way too, though, the way it connects, right? Like their bosses are like 2-bit secondary characters from A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, and like Luke Skywalker shows up at the end for like 2 pages.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, damn good books.
Yeah, I hope I would like to see that. I would like to see more Star Wars, like more like Rogue One, like just sort of a little bit different.
It reminds me of a Star Trek episode called The Lower Decks. At least I think it was called that, where it was about it starred the minor characters, right? Like the nurse in sick bay and like one of the engineers who would always adjust the doohickey to make the whatever it was happen.
Yeah.
But it starred these characters, and like the main cast were secondary supporting roles through the whole thing.
That's cool. I don't remember that, but
Do you do you guys want to see the new Solo movie?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
When it comes to Star Wars, there's really only one appropriate response, and that is take my money.
Yeah. The only thing is, I'm a little bit leery about going to see them in the theater sometime. I'm just cheap and just wait to download them at home.
My kids will never forgive me if I don't take them to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
It's like, Dad, you got to see all 6 of them when you were a kid. You got to take us to see them.
I didn't. I didn't see them in the theater till they were re-released. But
Well, yeah, but still.
and I have
I'm not that old.
I have a 3D screen at home, so I can watch it in 3D at home anyway, with popcorn.
Speaking of 3D, re-releasing the Phantom Menace in 3D was one of the worst ideas ever.
Yeah. I'm not a
I paid
fan of
$10 to see a movie that I own and I get a headache.
I'm not even a huge fan of 3D in general. Like, I don't really get a big kick out of it. I just find my neck gets sore from having to hold my head vertical the whole time.
Yeah, I agree.
So I am legally blind in my right eye, and 3D doesn't work for me.
Yeah, so there you go.
Fair.
I don't think the 3D has made it. There's a couple of cartoony movies that I thought the 3D was good in, but other than that, it just doesn't. It's just not worth the extra $10 or whatever they charge.
It was okay with Beowulf, but Beowulf was designed to be a 3D movie from the ground up.
Yeah.
But Beowulf kind of pissed me off because they spent, that fight scene with Grendel?
No.
Oh, if you haven't seen it, then
No, I haven't.
basically Beowulf is naked during the fight scene with Grendel, and the whole fight scene becomes this comical game of hide the sausage.
Ah.
And it becomes painfully obvious that's what they're doing.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, what? Just be like Watchmen and just, let the donger hang out, right? I mean, we're already getting full frontal on Angelina Jolie. The least you can do is, practice a little equity between the sexes and do full frontal on Beowulf.
I'm trying to remember there was a movie like maybe 2 years ago where there was an epic fight scene in the shower and he's naked. What was that one? That was really good.
I don't know, but I've already talked about naked men more than I want
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I'll talk about more naked men. Sounds good to me. I don't know what movie it was. It's a Viggo Mortensen thing, and I can't remember.
to. It wasn't a history of violence, was it?
Well, maybe. Was it? I can't remember. I just remember it was the opening scene, kind of. Yeah, I think it is, maybe.
That movie was not nearly as cool as I wanted it to be.
I liked it. I don't know if it was as cool as it could have been, but I liked it.
Well, they advertised it. It was a case of false advertising and false expectations. And it was the same problem I had with that movie. I think it was called Ice Harvest with what's his face? That pathetic guy from Grosse Pointe Blank. But they marketed it as something completely different. They marketed this movie as an action thriller, when instead it became like a dramatic sob story.
Ah. It was Eastern Promises is the name of the movie.
Oh, I've never even heard of that one.
Yeah.
But then I don't watch as many movies as I used to because I have a metric ton of kids.
Yeah.
I usually just watch the same ones over and over again.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you have seen it, but there's a fairly recent movie called Your Name. It's subtitled though, so you got to read it, but it's really good. It's Japanese animation. It's not really anime, but it's Japanese animation. I really liked it. It was kind of a. It's kind of light, but it's I don't know how to describe it. It's a pretty good.
You know what I'm really excited for? Speaking of current contemporary movies, is Super Troopers 2.
Gonna be one?
Yeah, they got the funding and everything. There's trailers out there.
That's cool.
There's got to be somebody else in the room who is as interested in Super Troopers 2 as I am.
I don't think anyone else.
Shenanigans.
I didn't really like the first one.
No,
You didn't like the first one?
Not so much, no.
I will admit that I have a certain interest in it that probably the average bearer wouldn't. But still, come on. Shenanigans?
Shenanigans.
Mustache Ride?
I'll bitch slap the next person who says shenanigans. No, I'm sorry. I'll pistol whip the next person who says shenanigans.
Hey, Father, what's the name of that restaurant with the mozzarella sticks and the goofy shit on the walls? I don't know if anybody caught this, but you know, have you seen the movie Waiting?
Yeah.
With yeah, you know what the name of the restaurant they worked at was?
No.
It was a wannabe
Shenanigans.
Bennigan's. Yeah. So they were.
Yep, and it mozzarella
looked
sticks
like-
and goofy shit on the walls.
Yep, it looked exactly like Bennigan's.
Yep,
Be wearing your flare.
it was a direct reference to Super Troopers.
I don't think I saw Super Troopers until long after I saw Waiting. I only saw Super Troopers like a few years ago for the first time.
Oh, you were deprived.
I
You
know.
poor deprived person.
I wasn't allowed to see E.T. I can believe that.
Whoa, what?
My dad
What?
thought Edward Scissorhands was demonic.
Well, so most movies were demonic. So there you go.
I wasn't allowed to watch E.T. either, but my mom didn't call it demonic. She said it was new age garbage.
Oh,
At this point, just allow me to invoke an Archer quote. You want atheists, Lana? This is how you get atheists.
I wasn't allowed to watch Goonies. I wasn't allowed to watch Star Wars. It wasn't until I was 13 I watched Star Wars.
Yeah, I didn't see
Yeah,
Star Wars till I was quite a
you were
bit
s-
older.
You were spared some heartache if you didn't watch E.T. when you were young. Holy shit.
I wasn't even that young, but like we weren't allowed to see anything with aliens because Mom said that was the devil trying to prepare us for the horrors to come.
Whoa, what?
Well, because during
Well, wouldn't that be a good thing to be prepared though?
no, because then because you're not supposed to befriend them. You have to.
Yeah, you can't accept it. You have to fight it.
Yeah, you have to. They're the bad guys, not the good guys.
Winter is coming.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to actually more make a John Connor reference. You know, he had to be trained to be ready for what was to come.
Yeah, well, he wasn't a very good Christian, though, was he?
Yeah, Christians are
Well,
probably
the
apparently
savior.
can't fight back against the aliens when they invade, I guess.
Speak for yourself. My unit will probably get activated anyway. I don't know why I inserted that bravado in there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That was
perfectly fine,
uncharacteristic.
That's perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to stand in front of the death ray while I run for shelter.
I probably will, yeah.
I'm just gonna go to the tallest building in town with a sign saying, "I'm your friend. Take me with you."
Now we saw how that ended in Independence Day, didn't we?
Yeah.
Do you want experiments? Because that's how you get experiments.
Tell us how much you love that second Independence Day movie, 13.
Oh,
There was
fuck
more
you.
than one.
Oh, they
just made a
re-
sequel
They
recently.
made a sequel a couple years, a year or so back. It was so bad. Oh my
I
god!
just remember I've never seen it. Like all I know is him complaining about it like nonstop for like a week or two after he saw it, and then I read the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
I should go pirate it or something.
Okay, basic physics. You take a ship that size and bring it towards a gravitational mass like Earth. The ship was bigger than the fucking planet. It would have more gravitational mass.
Well, it's more hollow though.
And the Queen was like, oh my gosh, the Queen was like, good grief, like Godzilla scale. So you have this giant Godzilla scaled monster wearing a silver spacesuit.
If the ship were bigger than Earth, like depending on how close the Earth actually got to the ship in the movie, if it was inside the ship's Roche limit, the Earth would have been torn apart.
Yeah.
Well,
fuck that. Fuck physics.
Yeah, but
it was just so bad. That, and of course, this one alien comes to try to help us out, and we shoot it down, and it ends up deciding to help us. And since we beat this one alien queen, they want us to lead the resistance. It's another one of these like yay us bullshit movies. Yet at the same point, these aliens are like, we know how to fight it, but you're the one that's only successfully ever beaten it. Then what makes you think you know how to fight it if you've never fucking won? Just the logical failures of it were so. Oh, it was bad movie.
well, if you watched the whole thing though, why did you do
Yeah,
that?
leave it to the atheists to not
Must
be
have
able to
enjoyed it.
suspend disbelief.
Yeah. Well, actually, if you want to, if you're into
I-
seeing something bad,
Hang on, Shard.
Yeah.
Why would I deliberately watch really bad science fiction?
because it's funny.
No, because I write, and it pisses me off enough to make me write better sci-fi.
I like it because it's funny. That's why I love Mystery Science Theater because
I love MST3K too. Have you seen the new series?
oh yeah, I watch them all. But the thing is, so if
I mean
think
the reboot on Netflix.
yeah, I have.
Okay,
I
good.
think what they should do is they should take the Netflix series, The Rain, and they should do an MST3K of that because that series is epically bad. Like there's a virus and it's in the rain.
Oh,
but
that one, yeah.
as long
Okay.
as it isn't actually raining, you can go outside and you can touch things and you don't have to worry.
But you can't step up in a puddle in some episodes.
The puddles, it comes and goes. It depends, right? But
Like
the
I
rain
said, in
will
some
change.
episodes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I think it's hilarious. And the other thing I love is that they find out they're in a quarantine zone and there's a huge wall surrounding them. But somehow that keeps the rain in? This wall? I don't really understand it. But I
Well,
think
that's because it's the evil scientists are seeding the clouds.
and they know exactly
Oh,
when
wait, spoiler at the end of the season.
oh well, yeah, but how does that keep the rain in? I don't understand.
Because made up bullshit physics. Because I think they're getting their physics from Ronnie and G-Man.
Gotcha.
That explains a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that show it would.
But I think it would be so good if we have one of these bad Netflix shows that comes out weekly, and MST3K also has that show come out weekly. That would be hilarious.
That would be.
I don't know. It kind of defeats the purpose if you're making something direct to MST3K.
I think it's funny.
I mean, then you're deliberately
would-
making it bad, and yeah.
Wow.
It would be pretty meta, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. It would. I agree with you on that one.
I could see Netflix doing something like that. You know, they have to keep expanding their horizons.
Okay, so has anybody seen Cobra Kai?
Oh,
No, I fucking refuse.
Don't refuse, man. It's awesome.
No, I refuse on fucking principle. I sit there, I go on to YouTube, and all of a sudden this fucking video pops up because I clicked on the stupid YouTube thing to get to the main page, and this fucking horseshit starts playing, and I'm like, oh, good, artificial hits. Fuck you. Because that's what they're doing is they're forcing people. Anyone that clicks on the little YouTube thing in the corner was forced to open the fucking thing, so it's artificially inflating the views. So I put thumb down it and put in a nasty gram on it because fuck you.
I mean,
promoting it and
be that as
advertising
it
it and getting legitimate hits is one thing, but that's horseshit.
it is that good, though.
Yeah, general principle don't
Like,
care.
you're missing out, man.
You say so.
as somebody who genuinely hates sequels and remakes, I was very satisfied. So if you're not Shadow, go watch it.
What the hell's going on here? This is not good. It's fucked up.
Yeah, I'll probably check it out.
Oh, it's totally worth it. And the nice part is, like, you feel like you're watching The Karate Kid.
Oh yeah. Well, it might be good. I saw like that one with Will Smith's kid. Didn't he do one like years ago?
The original Karate Kid, or the second, or the reboot?
Yeah, that was bad, but I don't remember. But
I didn't like the original. I like the reboot better, honestly.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. There's better character development.
Wow. I mean, I think when I saw them and I was really a young kid, I didn't care about character development.
There really wasn't fucking any in Karate Kid. It's just like, hi, I'm a boring tropey character.
I didn't care. Yeah.
I'm getting bullied. I want to be able to kick their asses. Yeah, fuck off.
Well, what you got to remember, though, right, is like Daniel LaRusso is really the bad guy.
If you look at it that way, then yes.
The real Karate Kid is William Zabka's character, Johnny. Johnny is the Karate Kid. I'm just saying.
I just like the old Chinese dude. I guess he was
Mr.
Japanese.
Miyagi?
Yeah.
Good old Pat Morita.
Yeah.
But to be able to play that part in that movie, he did get his yellow belt. Sorry, what?
That's actually one of my.
So he took
a lot of. Is there more martial arts in this Cobra Kai one?
There's a decent amount, I guess. It's what I like about it is it dives deep into the psyche of Johnny, the bully from the first one.
I see.
And it explains why he was the way he was, and and it's the interesting part is like with their kids, you see them going through some of the same stuff that they went through when they were in school, obviously with 21st century children version of it, but and you see the dad sitting there like, kids, you're making all the wrong decisions here, and being helpless to stop it, which I thought was really interesting.
Yes. Sake.
Sorry, it's since I'm so tapped out as dad and military and whatnot. It's very rare that I actually get into anything new. So now that I'm actually into something new, I'm kind of excited about it.
I can understand that. I just didn't necessarily have that much interest to begin with, but being forced to, here, watch this shit. I'm like, no, fuck you.
You know what's funny is they actually beat Netflix and Amazon in a bidding war for it.
Yeah, they need some kind of flagship, don't they?
Yeah, because nobody I know of watches anything on YouTube Red.
No, I sure as fuck don't. I don't necessarily even like that it exists, which is another one of those weird biases, I suppose.
No, but that's what they're trying to make out of it, which is annoying. YouTube should remain what it's always been, public access television.
Yeah, and they pretty much were for the longest time, but they've been doing everything they can to try to get away from that. And it's like, dude, you're the only one that's doing this. Capitalize on it. Fuck. And
Yeah,
instead of stuff
exactly.
like, yeah, well, no more cat videos. We don't want people watching cats. We want people watching these. Yeah, never mind. Some of them might have budgets. I shouldn't be that down on it, but I mean, this is kind of the thing is yeah, any idiot with a webcam and this and that. But if they keep fucking this up, what's going to happen is you're going to have what was your YouTube crowd going to platforms like Facebook and what have you, which granted do suck in terms of the streaming and what have you. But at the same point, they have cornered the market on this one thing, and instead of appreciating that they've done that, they're just fucking it up left and right. Now, I would have moved on from YouTube years ago if it wasn't for the fact that they have like 1,000 times the share of any other streaming site.
Yeah, totally agreed. I thought VidMe was going to make a run for it, but that crashed in flames.
Yeah. No, it's because why are you going to move your, and I'm not speaking, of course, in terms of people like myself or what have you, but if you have that 60 million audience, are you going to try to get them to move to a new platform? And how many do you think will follow you?
Yeah, I mean, like, let's say, like, theoretically, like, say a guy like PewDiePie decides to jump ship and go to Vimeo or, Metacat.
That's one of the big ones now.
But, I mean, how many of PewDiePie's followers do you think really would go there? Or they just sub to somebody else, like Oak Dice?
Even more so, I mean, this is just anyone that's been on YouTube for a while and has run a channel will know that, yeah, sure, he has 60 million followers, but how many are active? How many are actually
exactly
active? Now, that's not to say he doesn't have millions and millions that are active, most likely, but he's going to lose like probably at least a sixth because YouTube just doesn't clean accounts that aggressively. And whenever they do, people freak out because they lose, like a third of their fucking followers.
Well, and as we're so fond of pointing out to G-Man, it's not about subs, it's about views and upvotes.
Exactly. Well, upvotes, I'd say no to the upvotes or even downvotes. I mean, if you're doing something that's made to ruffle feathers, you're going to get more downvotes than upvotes. But
I just
even then,
downvote soft G-Man.
But even then, if you have 10,000 people that are supposedly following you on YouTube and you're getting like 300, 400, 500 views, that's fucking sorry, man. Now, I don't know how many he gets. I haven't paid attention, but that's just my example here. And when I walked away from the old 13 Heathens account, is because at the time I had well over 2,000 subscribers, but I was getting like 100 to 200 hits a video. I'm like, okay, I want an idea of how many I really have. So I started the new account, and granted, I couldn't advertise in the old one. That was a problem, but there was other shit going on, custody-related stuff.
Have you ever looked him up on Social Blade?
My old account?
G-Man. Have you ever looked up G-Man?
No, I haven't. Not in a long time.
He has a C rating.
Oh. Okay. Wait a minute. I have a C- rating, if I remember correctly. And I do jack shit on here these days.
I just got blocked by Shani.
You just what?
Well, Shani went live and she said something about, I just am sick of the people with the drama. So then I put hearts and poo and hearts and poo and hearts and poo. And then I said, she said, yeah, and I just like, you try to love on people and you try to correct them. And I was like, yeah, like calling him a dyke and a cunt and then crying about unity after, and she deleted it and then I got blocked. Blocked!
I'm blocked by G-Tards under 2 different accounts. I have 2 or 3 more. Not that it fucking matters. I have the corporate account. I can make as many more as I want.
That's too funny.
I love it when they block when you tell the truth. Like it's funny.
I just consider it a success when you get blocked to begin with. Like, I knew I was doing something right when Carlos, a.k.a. Thank You Jesus, blocked me.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. He's actually funny. You guys remember little Brojo, the sniper? No one remembers Sniper Brojo?
I vaguely do, yeah.
Nah, I didn't really know him.
Yeah, I remember him. He's
I mean, I came across him once or twice and was just annoyed because we already have a Brojo. He needed to leave.
Yeah, he
I
did.
know, right? Well,
That
it's
was
just
just kind
like
of my
there was
take on
been
it.
2 Slim Jims, and I was really irritated. I was like, no, not 2 of them.
Wait, who's the other Slim Jim?
The other Slim Jim's black, and he's the guy that brandished a gun in a hangout, and I was pissed off at him.
He needs to go away and change his name.
I don't mind gun ownership, but there's no reason to point it at somebody in a hangout. Like, I know, like, literally it can't shoot me through the thing, but I just think it's really bad taste.
Well,
It's
he stole my name. He needs to stop.
That's why it works.
Bye, Shar. One of my favorite commenters of all time.
Yeah, I've always liked Shark too. She's a buddy. She's in our weird little cabal.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I like my Groovy, even though she says nothing.
Nothing.
You sent me something about Groovy, like if you get in her inner circle, she sends you all sorts of crazy pictures of her doing like weird things.
What?
Uh-oh.
Well, not those kind of weird things. I meant like Snapchat weird things.
Oh, I am so disappointed now. I got hopeful for a second there. Damn it.
Oh, you didn't get those pics?
Oh, do tell later. much later.
You know what they say, right? Pixar didn't happen.
There goes Deidre flirting with women
That's
on
not
the
what it
internet
says.
again.
It's Pixar GTFO. What is with those weird fundies like flirtation equals cheating? It's like, what is wrong with them?
I mean, technically I have flirted with Renee for sure, and back and forth, but like the extent to which they're saying is really funny. Like they make me sound like I'm like a like what's happening?
My only thought is you're fucking flirting. Big goddamn deal. What? Wait, it's flirting.
It's thought crime. You lusted after.
No, I have never lusted. I have never lusted after somebody that I was flirting with in that kind of way.
I only flirt with dudes.
I flirted with gay guys too. I flirted with women and men and this and that. I flirted with every fucking waitress that comes to a table, and I've never once propositioned a single one.
I flirt with drag all the time.
Okay, wait. I did kind of proposition one waitress, but that doesn't count because it wasn't for sex.
Wait, what?
She had interesting marks on her wrists, and I thought she had an interesting story. So I tried to talk her into meeting me someplace for like coffee or whatever, so she could tell me her story. As a writer, I was interested.
I bet she
Well, that
jumped
makes
on that chance.
And that's still technically
pun
a
intended.
proposition. It's just not a sexual one.
Sexual healing.
Okay, Psycho Killer's playing upstairs really loud. I don't know why.
It's like
Run away.
Make me stop making this noise, please.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so funny to have some karaoke night. I don't know how you could do it in a hangout, but I have a feeling it would be
Can't
so.
because it'll be okay. It would be obnoxious more so for the people in the external because everything would be somewhat out of sync.
Who
It
says
just
you're
can't
doing
really
it for
be done.
them?
That's true.
It would still be out of
Unless we
sync for
live
everyone
stream
else in
it
the
from a
hangout.
bar.
Oh my gosh,
Then we'd
I'd
all have to
totally
be
be
in the
down for
same
that.
place.
Okay, so what bar are we meeting at?
Oh man, last time I went to a bar that was doing karaoke, my best friend got fucking gypped. He went. We managed to get him drunk enough that we could talk him into going up on stage, and because it was a competition, and got him to go up on stage to sing a song, and he did it fucking perfectly, but he didn't win, and I think he should have because he did the entire Rainbow Connection song with a Kermit voice, spot fucking on too.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Oh, awesome. I crashed the office party of the company I left in October, the office holiday party, and it was at this really nice restaurant that they had like rented out, and they were doing karaoke. Everyone's fucking drunk, so I talked the guy into pulling up a Screeching Weasel song, and, and I start doing it, and there's all these white coworkers like smashed. Sorry, and he accidentally broke his computer. It made it stop like 30 seconds into the song. Slam dancing. That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. So I just looked at my notifications, and the man video called "The State of Our Little Community."
Yep. That really did happen, and also Shani censored me and blocked me, and I have screenshots. It's hilarious.
Sometimes the memes just make themselves, kids.
Later.
She's like, I don't understand why you hate me.
Oh, did you everybody saw Shani's mom's video, right?
Yeah.
I kind of felt a hole in my soul after watching that.
So Shani left a message on G-Man's video that you're speaking of, and it says, I'm following you. I'm tired of all the drama. All they want is increased hatred. Preaching love, grace, and mercy is my mission.
Oh yeah, and that 1 hour long thing. There was plenty of that, wasn't there? Good grief, woman.
And then G-Man's like, Shani, do it with passion. Ignore the drama whores.
Says the biggest drama whore on here. Yeah.
And then someone said something about G-Man blocked so soon. That perk high.
Well, you know, in these very different fighting games, there's always, you know, the character that have their special moves, and his opening special move is blocking people.
I can't imagine G-Man.
And if that doesn't work, then he starts yelling Hellfire. Well, they can't respond. Sorry, go ahead.
Calling so-and-so out. Blocking you too.
I just can't imagine G-Man as a fighting game character, because all games are inherently balanced, or at least they try to make them balanced. And nobody would want to play a character that always loses.
No, there's always that one character that's massively handicapped.
What's that
But did
girl
I
in
just
Soul Cal
something that I
with the
didn't mean to?
pigtails?
Oh my gosh, if G-Man was a video, he'd be hurling barrels. Oh, by the way, Rev, you keep saying that the barrels are used for starving children in Africa. They're not. Okay? So stop making stuff up.
I was wondering where the fuck that came from, honestly.
I don't know. He's inventing shit.
This pulled out of an ass cheek, was it?
No,
Is that kind of like how genuflecting is a sin?
I know a little bit about
like-
where he works, and that is not what he
Genuflecting
does.
is it what?
Appliances.
Yeah, it's not starving children in Africa. And Jesus, like, what the hell?
To be honest, I'm not sure if I would trust him to stack anything higher than he is tall. I worry about its inherent stability.
The stacker his.
Yes.
Okay.
A man is in the hospital.
Oh god, I loved that fucking video. Oh, that was so fucking beautiful. Well, what if Shadow was the one in the hospital? I fucking was, you bitch! God, I love.
I don't
And
remember
they're like, duh. G-Man
I don't
said
remember
that?
any of the fundies getting all concerned for my wife when she was in the hospital dying.
Of course not.
Of course, I didn't really make it public, but that's, you know, beside the
Well,
point.
most people wouldn't. I mean, it's, you know.
Yeah, I was actually more concerned with my sick wife than I was banking it into YouTube success. Imagine that.
What a shocker.
Your failure at life.
So now have you realized that you need more birth control than Magic the Gathering?
No,
Huh?
I don't
How much
understand
birth
what this.
wait. How much birth control does Magic the Gathering need? I thought it was birth
It
control.
was his birth control. He said it was his birth control, and it didn't work. He ended up having another baby.
Now I understand.
Have you seen
Well,
how
when-
passionate those games get, though?
Oh yeah.
Actually, there's actually a pretty neat and I suppose quasi-romantic story about Magic the Gathering. One of the guys that worked at the company that manufactures the card made a card that was a proposal card. The person had to either accept the proposal or forfeit the game.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes, it is completely legit. I don't think she conceded either.
No, she did not concede the game. She kept playing. Now, whether she would have reneged on that agreement or not is a different matter, but she's like, fuck you, I'm going to keep playing.
I'm trying to remember who that was who did it. If it is who I think it broke up.
That's not surprising.
Well, it has more to do with him being a obnoxious man whore who's wrong about nearly everything.
That sounds like a lot of Magic players that I've known.
That's
Really?
true.
Magic Man Whore. Ooh. New profession.
That are wrong about everything.
It's actually I don't do I post about it a lot or something because it seems to keep coming up whenever I'm in a hangout.
Deidre never lets anything die, so.
Wait, what am I not?
That's-
What am I not dying? What?
He was
My
wondering
interest in
why
Magic the
Magic
Gathering.
keeps getting brought up. And you brought it up.
Magic? Oh no, it's your Catholic sex ethics that we always argue about, like you and me.
Oh.
Like, you know, being that I'm a Protestant and believe in birth control, and so, but funny enough, I do want a kid. But I was joking, and it was a mean joke. I'm sorry. I'm mean to you Catholics.
That's okay.
Every so often.
That's okay. I forgive you. I just have one question.
What's that?
What's it like knowing that you're going to hell for using contraception?
Actually, hang on a second. Hey, Munchkin Man, come here for a minute.
Do you think that a sperm that's ejaculated is an abortion?
Come here.
No.
I'm going to ask y'all to do me a weird favor in a moment. I'm going to give the headset to somebody. I'm going to have you ask them about Shani or G or whoever you want to. Get 1 second.
Do what now?
I think
don't know, ask him.
Hello there. It is the mini heathen.
Hi, hi,
Heathen.
kid on the street. How old are you?
About to turn 15.
Okay. So I have a question. I heard that at one point you were considering Christianity, and then something turned you off. What happened?
At first I wasn't really religious at all because I don't know where I'm at currently, but now I'm like I don't give a shit. But then since I started seeing certain Christians act a certain way, and they act like that a lot, I'm like, you know what? Why are they acting like shit? It's just no. I'd rather not have to deal with shit like that.
You can name names. It's all right.
I can tell. Obviously one of them is G-Man. And okay, I don't know if is Shani a Christian, correct? Me being my idiot.
Yes, she is a self-proclaimed Christian. I don't
Okay.
play the no Christian game like she does. I'll just assume she is right now.
In her case, I want to.
And then there's a few other people I don't know their names, but they're like, okay, I don't know how to. They're one of those Christians that's like, okay, do you know the feminazis, right?
Yep.
They're like that, but Christian version.
That was well put.
Yeah.
That was well put. You tell your dad he's doing right.
Okay, you are doing right,
I'm
Dad.
sure he'll be glad to have my approval.
So you know that not all Christians are like G-Man, right?
Yeah, I kind of noticed because I have a few friends. I don't know about the others, but I know one of them is a Christian, and he's actually a really cool person.
I think do you ever like see something good and then there's that one person that just screws it up? Like just take for instance freedom. You know, and our country and democracy, and there's a lot of good things you can say about it, but there's always these few people that screw it up, you know? like it's kind of like that.
Everyone I meet at school, well, it's going to be somewhat related to that, but at first, I had this one friend, Roy. I really trusted him. I thought he was really good. And to be honest, back then I was too clingy with my friends because I barely had any. And then I gave him too many fucking tries. And then he kept fucking it up. And for some random reason, I keep thinking he could do better. Nope, he never changes. It's quite depressing, too.
So you do realize then that you don't have, there's not a requirement to Christian like G-Man. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Okay, that's important to me because I think any one of us can really screw up the lifestyle, and I think that's
Padawan is to learn the fine art of
Owning, okay. Dad, what?
Owning?
Okay.
So G-Man doesn't believe that you were turned away from faith because of him. He doesn't think that it works that way.
Kind of have to break it to him. It kind of is kind of his fault. On the whole
Considering
entire-
G-Man doesn't consider himself a bad example of a Christian, it doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
What would be a good example of a Christian to you from an outside perspective, from young eyes?
In my perspective, a Christian, besides the whole entire Bible version, which is all Christ-like, which is if someone hits you, turn the other cheek. I think that's like some in the Bible. My mother mentioned it once. But in my perspective, a Christian which just acts like anyone else, I would think. A good person is like someone who cares for others, treat them well. Doesn't matter what faith or how they live. For example, on the whole entire how they live, like if they're poor or that their family is really bad, like as in abusive physically and verbally. And in general, they're really nice people.
No, I'm not asking him to make a decision.
I know, it's just that's how I
like,
explain things. I'm sorry. It's
Hannah's like, he's pretty young, not sure it's a good time to make any hasty decisions.
can't explain things really well. I can't do that just yet.
So, to me, like Christian faith has a lot to do with kind of like what you're saying, how you treat people. And in the Bible, there's a lot of talk about like how you treat the poor, like you're saying. Sorry, my husband's dumping ice into a chest, so that's what that noise is.
I can hear stuff in the background, and
now he's laughing at me. It just has funny sound effects. It's like crunch. It's so funny. But yeah, like I think about like community outreach and stuff like that, and actually sincerely helping people. So it's interesting how sometimes it gets turned into just preaching, and I think that's strange.
Yeah.
And hate.
It doesn't
Yeah.
count as hate unless you're stoning homosexuals, and that's totally fine.
Okay.
You better be nice. I can't hear anything you're saying, so that I can't coerce him.
I was being really sarcastic.
What you
He was
want to
just being
do
sarcastic.
is not be like Shadow at all. He's a terrible person.
On the whole,
Awful.
What do you think about G-Man responding to your dad's stroke, saying that the Reaper was coming for him soon and that he needed to repent?
oh my gosh. At first I was kind of pissed because it was like, dude, don't act like that ever. That's kind of rude. But then, like a few days later, he gets like a back pain and watching one of my dad's videos on the whole entire God hitting him on the back. I'm like, hey, that's fucking instant karma.
I like your style, dude.
So you're saying you prayed that he got harmed?
No, it's just karma in general. Karma's a bitch.
Isn't it though?
If only people would learn from their consequences and experiences, huh?
Yeah. Which people at where I'm at, usually in McKinney, they don't know. They don't learn that shit. It's like, hey, I did something bad. And something bad happened to me. I'm gonna still fucking do it.
Now, the real important thing is do you like Star Wars?
Who fucking doesn't?
I'm glad you said that, man, because I was gonna have you kicked from this hangout if you said no.
If
Well-
you could say one positive thing about Christianity that maybe you've seen, like maybe with your mom, because I know that she's a Christian, or even in community, even passing, what would be the most positive thing you could say about it, and what would be the most negative thing? I'm curious to see the two sides of that.
Oh, the negative thing is going to be easy one, but the positive thing, it's going to be hard because the church I go to for Owl, there's a lot of good stuff over there. But my favorite thing that they do is that they really don't care about your religion. And if you're homosexual or something around those lines, they will fuck, what was that word? Well, anyway, they'll be like, go ahead, be gay. It's yourself. Forgot the word because I can English. Except that and some other word. I think it starts with the E.
Is it a Methodist church?
I think.
I
I don't really pay attention that much.
I'm gonna place my bets on Methodism or Episcopalian.
Oh.
What is the worst thing that you've seen?
Oh, there's a lot. Let's see which one's my favorite. Shit. I've seen this once. I've heard it from my sister's with one of her friends that the parents I don't know how to describe it, but it's like if anything negative like anger or something happens, they'll be like, oh, Satan is showing or some random shit like that, and or the whole entire they don't like gays shit. I can't remember words because I can't English correctly apparently.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you. The 22-year-old preacher from Skylar's channel has a new video out.
22-year-old preacher. Is that from one of his recent videos?
Yeah, he's the guy who advocated stoning kids who disobey their parents.
Oh, well, it is in the Bible.
What kind of sick shit is that? Because that's not okay in this society.
It's epic parenting. I'm just kidding.
Like, there's something pretty hardcore about throwing rocks at somebody until they die. But at the same time, like, if I don't feel like doing the dishes that night, I'd rather not be on the receiving end of that.
Yeah, because no one wants to get hit by a stone.
Have you ever watched a stoning? It's horrible.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It is not like there's no way I can look at that and say this is a good way to kill people and like God would mandate this. Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
In my opinion, if you're gonna like execute someone, you know the whole entire what they do in some of the deal in prisons when they're gonna execute their prisoner with the whole entire poison, whatever liquid it is, that it's quick and painless. I think it's quick and painless. I don't know.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
there's debate about that right now, but yeah. I mean, I think dying in general is unpleasant. I just think that there's worse ways to die, and stoning is not a good way to die.
Yeah.
I think I'd much rather be hanged than stoned.
Yeah. My opinion, death. I really do not like the thought of death, to be honest.
Well, I mean, if you did, it'd be a little bit weird, but
I don't know. I find my my acceptance of death increases exponentially after watching a G-Man video.
Shit.
so if you were to leave a message to G-Man, like serious message, like about your experience and maybe like a pro tip, like on how to reach people like you, what would it be?
Oh, and don't censor yourself either.
Damn. Shit. The only thing that's currently coming in mind in G-Man's deal is more like, in my opinion, he needs to be nicer and grow some balls. Oh. Who the fuck are those? Who are they? The 8s? Were they dead? But otherwise, I don't really know what I should tell G-Man, because that's something, in my opinion, he has to figure it out himself. And if he still keeps acting like a regimental little shit on occasion, Carmel, nah, I get English today. Holy fuck!
Dang you, Carmel!
Damn you, English.
Yeah. True.
He got caramel from his chocolate atheist.
That is awfully funny.
I don't know why I can't stop laughing at that. What?
Ooh, someone's phone vibrated.
Yeah, that was me. Sorry. People messaging me.
It's not even a message.
Oh, apologies to Frank. I guess he asked for a link to this like around 7 and I missed it. So I'll add you, Frank. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you suck, Spackle.
Oh, that's when you were busy like ignoring all of us.
I think you were watching freaking Shanny videos or something. Good job.
All right.
I think it was yesterday, but I looked on my phone in the subscription deal. I saw Dad's deal that says reacting to Cheney's video. I think it was called like kicking someone down. Okay, yeah, that. And I saw it, and I'm like, if you see a video that says one thing, it might be clickbait. So, fucking watch it, because apparently, I watched the other one after I watched it. The video that said, was it? What was the video called? Like,
Hers was kicking them when they're down. Mine was I don't fucking remember.
no, the one with G-Man. I think it was like, fuck, I can't.
Oh, talking about the one when he was sitting there saying that you're my son and I should.
No,
Nobody should listen. Not that
no, not that one. It was the early one. It was before you did the Shenny video. It was Shenny reacting to that one, to the title.
Me sitting there saying that Christians need to hold him accountable because if I was in the hospital because of God judging me, then so was that.
Yeah. I think it was like praising G-Man for being in the hospital or some shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I made a callous joke, and G-Man's caused some serious harm to people that I care about, and so I was like, like I don't care that he's in the hospital, like meaning like I don't wish him to be like, I hope you're suffering, you jerk, because I believe that a prisoner, in a prison system that maybe did something horrendous still needs health care.
Yeah.
But what I mean is like I'm not suddenly like, oh well, now that you're hurt, Olive Branch, everything's forgiven. Like it just doesn't work that way. And the reason why I'm not olive branching, because I am actually very good at olive branching, and I've done it over and over and over again. But you can only get poked in the eye with your own olive branch so many times where finally you have to go like, look, like you're freaking mean, and you need to learn the meaning of restitution.
Yeah. There's one thing I don't like about G-Man that kind of pisses me off. It's the one where that one video he did where he's like, oh, well, I don't need to ask for forgiveness. I forgot that one word that it occasionally uses. I think it was like repent. Yeah, repent. Repent.
Oh, like axe?
No, it was that he was automatically repent. And I'm like, I don't remember it. If you said that because he was a Christian or something like that.
He automatically repents?
I don't remember. If I did it, I could speak clearly. But also, in Dad's perspective, me talking to new people is brain exercise.
Okay. Are you a loner? Are you a loner?
Maybe.
Well, welcome to the loner group, because we're all loners here.
Hey. Do you have any other questions you wouldn't mind asking me?
I don't know, Jim.
The only other question I have is, are traps gay?
Okay. No comment, but unless if the trap likes another girl, then it's not gay. But if it's the other way around, then it's gay.
I like you.
Oh my. Okay. Okay.
Go back to your room and murder people. Okay, back to your room to murder people, kiddo.
You have done well.
That's the youngest heathen.
You have done well, Dad.
Well, considering I only get him every other weekend, it's not exactly the easiest thing to do.
It's what Borat called great success.
Yeah, he's getting there. He needs a little bit of, we'll just say, adjusting here and there, and one of them is getting more comfortable in social situations that are unfamiliar to him. He seemed to handle himself pretty well, though.
You did okay.
Yeah.
I think I was more awkward than him.
That's
Just
quite all right.
whatever you do, tell him to stay away from that asshole Slim Jim's YouTube channel because it's hot garbage.
Yeah, you know, you need to show him my Shanny video. He'll like that.
Hot garbage is exactly what he gets a kick out of, though. He's a troll. He really is at heart.
Oh, yeah, I like him. I definitely like him.
Jim's like, I will train him in the ways.
Yeah, he's very much a troll at heart, though. But in terms of being able to, so to speak, find his words, he's still working on that one. That'll take some time. His mother is, well, an idiot. And unfortunately, it's affected his vocabulary because, yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah.
The amount of time I spend explaining words that I'm like, really? You haven't heard that one? Amazes me. But that's not his fault. It's just that his parents don't use them. His stepfather and his mother don't use a lot of terms that I'm just shocked they wouldn't, honestly.
Can you imagine Beckel's kid? Beckel's kid's going to be like, that's arbitrary.
Yeah.
I know by one word, arbitrary.
Arbitrary. Okay, Veckel.
What kind of word is it? Arbitrary? Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out some logistics in terms of my new mining area. So he was doing that. I was sitting there running around like with a tape measure.
Speaking of arbitrary and Veckel, where the hell is Drag tonight?
I don't know, man. Maybe he's off getting drag nuts?
He seems like he's been laying a little bit lower lately.
I mean, I can't say that I blame him. Like,
everyone kind of
this place can wear on you.
Everybody needs a down cycle, but at the same point, I do have to say that little hang he did earlier, his morning thing, his morning. I've been starting to call them his porch-side chats. His morning one,
his coffee
fucking
talk.
loved. Yeah, the morning one I fucking loved today.
Oh yeah, it was good. I watched it this afternoon while I was cooking dinner for my kids because I woke up 6 hours after it was posted.
Yeah, and that I have to give him credit for. Him sitting there being personable is enough to get people to watch it hours later. That doesn't happen with a lot of hangs.
Well, there are very few live streams I will go and rewatch after the fact. His are one of them.
I'm not sure mine count as live streams these days.
No, but I did watch your videos after the fact.
Yeah. But yeah, the only reason why I air them is for the sake of the audience participation. I find that a little bit better than just fucking uploading a video outright.
That's true. By the way, I do got to get with you sometime. The topic of which I need to discuss offline, but I just wanted to get with you, see if you had any pointers on XSplit or whatnot, because there's a
XSplit's easy.
video I want to air live.
Well, speaking of, I think it's getting a little bit late, and it was great having you guys on the live hang, and oh my gosh, I got Shar and Groovy in the same hangout together. That was like bonus points, so that was cool. I just want to say,
wrong measurement.
There is a concept of restitution in the Bible. And nobody seems to talk about that ever, but they certainly want to talk about lakeets of fire and stoning and stuff like that. But nobody wants to talk about like actually trying to effort to make something right. And I think that's interesting.
I think it's problematic, really. I mean, the thing that we run into, especially down south where I live these days, I've talked to Baptists that insist that they don't have to actually repent or make amends because their punishment, basically what they're due for for any punishment for any wrongdoings they do is just what they get in their normal life. So since God's already made them basically pay for their sins that way, they don't have to make amends, which to me is absolutely daft.
Like, if I break the window of your car and I say, well, God forgave me, like, do you see how it's empty? Like, I don't understand.
And that's entirely what we saw with that whole "I'm already forgiven" nonsense. I mean, my whole thing going after him now. If my son decides that he doesn't want to, that he doesn't care about theology and just has no place for that, that's his business. I'm not going to interfere with that. That's his deal. But the fact that somebody kind of nudged him in that direction, I find that to be offensive. Now, the reason why I find it offensive isn't because of so much of the outcome, but more along the lines of you prevented him from figuring out what he wanted for himself. Don't interfere with my kid's decisions is kind of my outlook on that. That's where I felt it was crossing the line. I mean, my daughter is leaning towards Buddhism. Good for her. That's her choice. It doesn't matter. This isn't my rodeo when it comes to that. I mean, my kids are going to decide what path they want to follow, and as long as they're not like signing up for fucking Scientology, I don't give a shit.
I don't know, man. If my kids became Buddhists, I would probably stop feeding them.
No. Actually, you have to stop feeding them only for the first short period of time. Then you overfeed them, and then you go back to normal.
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't understand the whole thing with the Buddha, he went through the different paths of enlightenment from gorging to fasting to what have you, and none of them friggin' worked, so he had to find a middle path. That's what I was referencing.
Actually, it would be more accurate to say if they became communists, I would stop feeding them.
Communists. All right, so I'm gonna actually go on the off air here. If you have the link and you want to hop in the off air, that's absolutely fine. And when people get tired, they can go away. It doesn't matter. I'll be around for a little bit. So if you want the off air link, I guess give me a holler. I'll try to pay attention. And many people are already added to the green link if they want to go.
Yay, we're going off air. It's sexy time.
Be nice, but if someone hits you, offer them an olive branch. If they stab you with the olive branch in the eye a few times and stab your person that you care about in the eye a few times, you might need to slug back. And then when they go, oh, you hurt me, I can't believe it, just be like, so the standards that you set are X, and I met these standards, and now you're shocked. So I don't know how to explain this except to say that if I hold a mirror to you or repeat the harm that you cause, not out of pure vengeance, but out of trying to show you that you're actually doing something harmful, get the message. I don't understand how you can't get that message. Anyway,
Before you hit the button, though, I want to take it one step deeper, if you don't mind, and then we can cut it or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is that when you are being corrected on something, when somebody is telling you that you've done wrong, and then somebody else says the same, and the third says the same, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth, there's a certain point at which you have to say, maybe all of these people are right. And instead of then running around potentially even defending a person that's done just that, when something bad happens to them, instead of saying that we must gather around this person because they've been hurt, ask if you believe in God, maybe there's a reason why they got hurt. Maybe this is trying to teach them a lesson. And if they don't learn it when even the divine steps in, well, why are you defending the person? Just doesn't make sense. That's all.
All right. So, yeah.
Hopefully that was coherent. My brain's not working too well.
It is coherent. I am getting tired though, so I'm going to stop the broadcast now.
Yay, killed it.